Hello Sofa Squad. Today we're going to be talking about a few updates, a few new bits of information that we have received in Orrin and Orson's case. Again, these are the missing little boys from California City. I don't know what to think anymore, y'all, so I'm coming to the Sofa Squad. I just want to go over some of my thoughts. I'd love to hear what y'all are thinking down in the comment section, so let's go ahead and jump in. So, after hearing some of these new statements, some of the new stuff put out there by John Walker, the chief of police, I still just have more questions and answers. I still feel like all the pieces of the puzzle aren't put into place and aren't visible yet, but one thing that I do know is that the boys are still missing. Now, in one video, the chief of police, John Walker, he is speaking on the surveillance footage, the stuff that we've all been watching, all been theorizing on, and the whole 9 yards. Now, some of the stuff that he said about this is very interesting, very telling. In this, he says, you know what, the video is consistent with the story that the adoptive parents gave us. He's like, yes, here we can see, he goes out and he gets in the van, he takes a left and then heads east. And, he's saying, look, what, the time that he called, that matches up. We arrived at, I think it was 5:53 and the call was placed at 4:48. So there's this, little bit of time there where it's like, okay, that's what they were saying. This is, it all adds up. So, and it does, you know what I mean? It's all adding up there. But on the same note, I feel like there's something not being said. And I feel like part of that is almost this feeling of going through the motions, if that makes sense. Where it's like, well, yeah, it does all add up. It's like, I said that I went and touched base 1 and then base 2, and I did it in this order, and there's a video of you doing it, but you're not excited about doing it, and you're kind of taking your time doing it, but yeah, technically, you did it. Now, also in that is another huge thing. David Kaplan, the reporter who was talking to John Walker, the chief of police, he says, okay, look, I know that we can see through the fence this dog running around, and from like the view of the camera, the angle of the camera and the size of the boys, it doesn't look like we're able to see the boys in the backyard. And the chief of police is just like, that's a correct statement. And so, but it was so odd, there wasn't really much elaborating on it. It was just like, that's a correct statement. And so I'm like, what's a correct statement? That we can't see the boys in the backyard? Or that, yeah, the camera angle is preventing us from seeing the boys in the backyard? Or is it the boys were never in the backyard? So I'm very curious to see what y'all think about that aspect. I mean, maybe I'm digging too much. I don't know. Now, that all being said, some of the biggest stuff that I'm like, whoa, okay, this is major, is this. So first of all, we are getting a confirmation. We've all been asking this, talk to the other kids. So he allegedly is saying, what, the other children confirmed the last time that they saw the boys, Orrin and Orson, was on December 19th. Now, I have so many questions about that obviously is going to probably take a hot minute to get answered. So let's do a little time travel here. December 19th, this is the day that Trezell and Jacqueline were going shopping. They were taking the children to grandmother's house. Now, there's a whole bunch of different things going on with that. So we have, number one, what they're saying. We dropped 4 of the kids off, not the 2 young children. They were going on a vacation. They were the grandmothers, whatever. So there's that while they were going shopping or whatever. So, okay, fine, dandy. Well, then we have, again, the video footage. So there's 2 events in the video footage that I'm looking back through with a different lens now that the police chief is saying the children said that December 19th was the last time they saw the West brothers. So, first of all, we see them going to said shopping trip. So we see definitely the 2 adults. We see 4 little kids come out. That part of it's like, well, maybe did we miss the 2 boys getting in the van? Like, let's do the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe someone was carrying them we didn't see, but for all intents and reasons, it looks like only 4 kids get into the van. So, okay, there's that. Maybe there's some room for error in there, whatever. Well, I'm sorry, when they come back from said shopping trip, there is just the 2 adults getting out of that van, point blank, period. So this raises a lot of questions for me. And again, please, if you have further information on this, drop it like it's hot down in the comment section, because I would love to engage and read and see, like, what is up with this. So they get back. I'm only seeing the 2 adults. So then I'm like this. I'm like, okay, so the kids say the last time they saw their 2, the brothers, Orrin and Orson, was on December 19th. They go shopping. They go away for a few days. The kids are officially missing then. So I'm just like, well, where were the boys? Where were the boys? If they took the boys with them, let's say that we missed it and they did get in the van, well, where were they when you came back? Because you're saying that they were at the house with you after that. So what's up with that? Now, let's say they didn't take the 2 boys with them. Well, then where were they? Because I'm like, the only option I'm seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, is they were in the house. Who was with them? That's the biggest thing. Who was with them if they were in the house? Was there someone we don't know about? If so, has this person been talked to? So there's that whole big chunk of missing information. Now, again, I will say this. I also think we don't know everything that the cops know. I'm assuming that is usually how this goes. They usually will withhold information back and just to preserve the case. Again, I always reference this because the situation with this and a lot of what I'm sensing and vibing from just like the public's reaction is very similar to Letitia Stout. Now remember, that was Gannon Stout's stepmother. And she swore up and down and very condescending, interviews that, she had nothing to do with this, wanted an apology, yada, yada, yada. And there was stuff where we were like, how has she not been apprehended? Like, this is all so bizarre. And then it turns out the horrors that took place at her hands. So again, I hope that's not what happened here, but I just think that there's just so many questions. It's like, well, this doesn't make sense and that doesn't make sense. And then at the end of this all, he's also saying, no, the adopted parents aren't suspects. Now for that, I go 2 ways on this, and I'm curious how y'all feel. So first of all, I think they did the same thing with Letitia in the beginning. Typically my viewpoint on how this stuff goes is they will sit there and they're not going to come out and say so-and-so's a suspect or, oh, we think it's this, until they've got a lot of information and they're kind of ready to move in. Because think about it, if you were that person and let's say you're totally innocent, like it's just the public's got it wrong, whatever, and the cops start talking about, yeah, they're a suspect, are you going to talk to them anymore? At that point you're like, no, I'm trying to self-preserve here. So you see what I'm saying? If you are guilty, and you're wanted to be in the frame of mind of, all right, I'm going to get away with this. They don't even think I'm a suspect. You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect the police to come out with really anything other than that. I would be more shocked if they said, yep, they're high on our radar. I would expect an arrest soon thereafter. So that part doesn't shock me too much, but that's kind of the zone, the road that I'm going with that. So those are my thoughts for today on this case with some of the little updates that have gone on. Again, I'm very curious to see what y'all are thinking. See, if anyone has any other intel that I haven't gotten yet. It's been a crazy week at work. So now again, in the description, there's further reading if you want to check that out, but there's also the phone numbers and whatnot that you can contact if you do have any information about the boys, their whereabouts, anything that will possibly help bring the boys home. Thank you to everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the law enforcement investigators out there bringing justice to cases like this. And thank you to the mods, patrons, and subscribers of the channel. I really appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.